Everybody, welcome. I got special guests here. We're going to talk about deconstructing the Yankees, maybe reconstructing them. Talk about the philosophy. Talk about the trade deadline. Let's get into it. I've got four training. I got Mike Mazzy. I got Uncle Axe from Pinstripe Chronicles. I got Jigga in the house, from Yankees Morning Group. Before we do that, how about a little bit of music? My long ass 8-second intro. What's up, guys? Thanks so much for coming on and talking about this. We have a couple more guys and gals coming on. So let's talk about this Yankees. Last night sucked, right? And it really sucks to see playing the way they're playing. Let's go around robin this. Mike, Fort Train Express, what are your thoughts on this team right now? Where are we lacking? What would you do? What's the first thing you do?
Well, first off, last night's game proved a lot. It really did. It proved that we have too many holes. It proved that we have a lot of areas we need to fix. That should have been fixed in the offseason. So I'm holding the upper management accountable for not doing their job. Yes, they got Rodon. Yes, they re-signed Judge. Great. What happened to your left field position? Look at the position we're in now because you did not fill those needs. So they need to go out and get a left fielder. They need to get a healthy starter, and they need to get a bullpen arm at all costs. And trading Torres, and you, Jason, and I have said this on several occasions, trading Torres is the way to do it. You can get that impact bat for the left fielder, and then you can also get an impact arm because of his trade value. Trade him while his value is still high.
Mm-hmm. Go on the Jigga. What are your thoughts, man? Give us some love. Give us some of your insight, man.
What up, fellas? Appreciate you reaching out, Jason. What up to Uncle Tats and Fort Train Mazda? I don't know, guys. You know, last night is one of those games where I find it hard to put any judgment period and make decisions on because the entire thing was a shit show, right? I mean, it was a circus the entire time. Like, it was one of those nights you're like, how do you overthrow first? How do you bobble this play? And then, of course, let's not even talk about which ones were marked errors and which ones weren't. I don't even know what an error is anymore in 2020. Okay. But it's one of those games where it's easy to sit there and say, yo, let's get rid of everything because that's how it feels, right? Like, nobody proved themselves last night.
Nope.
But, guys, we've been in the same conversation since the offseason. We knew the issues we'd have with left field. Here we go. We're watching it. I'm sorry. Listen, we get excited and joke about Willie Bang Bang Calhoun when he is at the bat, but it looks like an Oompa Loompa out in the outfield. Like, you can't trust an Oompa Loompa if Willy Wonka ain't there blowing the whistle. You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't work. So, yeah, we have a lot we can do. The only thing I'm torn on, and I'm glad Mazza brought it up, and you three are three people I would love to hear about, is I'm not big on the get rid of Glaber train for a couple of reasons. One, I don't think he gives us the return that everybody thinks he can. I don't think people value Glaber the way we value Glaber and also hate Glaber at the same time, right? It depends what day it is. But I'm sorry, we all know it's going to take a whole shitload of our prospects that we have to attach to Glaber or whoever to make something happen. So am I crazy for thinking that Glaber's value isn't as high as we're putting on him?
You're not crazy at all.
That's a great analysis of it. But first off, share this video out because you are never going to see a panel like this ever. You know, we got Jigga, you are the man. Mike is multitasking up there. Jason always with the flying chats. But the thing that stood out the most about last night was not the score. It was not the runs that were being put up. Part of the reason that we've been sustainable in the standings is we've had the defense behind our pitching. And last night, everything just collapsed. Was it just one bad day, or is this something that we're going to see start to become an issue? I think that's where you really need to dive a little deeper into the lack of roster construction in the offseason. Left field. I always say, the Yankees, because of that green monster in Boston, you have to have a solid left fielder that can field that wall. They had no clue what they were doing out there last night. Everything was getting hit off. I think there was like 15 hits off the wall, combined on both teams. If you don't have an outfield that can field that wall, you're screwed. Just pack your shit. You're not going to get anything done.
You're going to be counterproductive.
Yeah.
That's a great point, man. And by the way, welcome to everybody in the chat. Thanks so much. If it's your first time, welcome. Hope you check out all of our channels. I mean, we're diehard Yankee fans. I hope you support us. We appreciate it all. But to your point, too, yesterday was an ugly day all across the board. Pitching, Mingamon was terrible. Matt Kirk had a terrible debut. Defense was sloppy. Offense was lifeless. It was a kind of, when it rains, it pours, right? And it's pouring in Yankee Town right now. So they need to wake up in a lot of areas. And again, let's be honest here. I mean, we don't have enough starting pitching, right? Guys that are hurt. So it's putting undue stress on the bullpen, who's now being taxed more than they've been before. So we're getting guys getting hurt and getting tired, right? Which is why I say I hope that they address starting pitching, because it allows guys like Clark Schmidt and other starters to turn into long relief, which creates a bridge from the starting to the relievers, to the short inning relievers. That bridge is important. It'll take you from using 3 pitches in a game to using 7 or 8, which Yankees do far too often right now. So guys like Schmidt, who can, let's say you have Cole or something like that, throws only 5, and then you have Clark Schmidt who can throw 3. That's 8. Now you're in the 9th inning now, rather than using 4 relievers or whatever it is. Yeah. The Yankees are using so many relievers, and so many guys are getting hurt. Even with a day off, if you're using some guys 4 days in a row, that might not be enough recovery one day. So I think it's affecting them across the board. Now, go ahead, Chica.
Doesn't it suck, though? We've been preaching, hey, let's see Crook. I hate that we have to sit here and say he looked bad, because let's be real, he started off fine and the defense let him down.
Yes.
Yeah, that was so
he got exposed, right? So we went from we want to see him and it started off great to now it's like, oh, we have to sit here and say he had a horrible first outing. Yep. But I really feel that defense let him down. He wouldn't have given up those other home runs if they would have made those plays, you know?
100%.
Well, yeah, that was an unfair debut. I think we need to, sorry to interrupt you, Jason. I think we need to just forget Crook last night, and the next outing where it's a more controllable game, I think that's where we're going to see why we wanted Crook to pitch so badly.
I agree.
I was going to say, to Tats and Jacobman's point, this is what happens when you don't play guys. When we call them up and we let them sit and rot.
12
days. Come in and 12 days we had him up.
Days.
We've already used up 2 of his options. And now he sits and rots. Then he gets shelled. And now he's not going to play for the next 12 days because he got shelled. How is that even worth it? That's not worth it.
Yeah, but I will say, you know what?
Exhaust his last option.
I will say, Brett, in the chat, I agree with you, Brett, right? With Crook not covering first, but tell me if I'm wrong. We would have been out of that inning, though, before that play would have even been an option.
That play should have never happened.
Right. So, but I agree. I mean, rookie mistake. At that point, you're already in your head. Things are going to shit, and then he doesn't cover first base. But I agree with you, Brett. He should have covered first, and it was a small sample size. So there's no way for me to say he was good, he was bad, but he did make that mistake. Sorry.
He did. And that's a rookie mistake. He's got to learn from it. And again, to your point too, Jacob, when you tie in Torres, because his defense, I think, hurts his offensive trade value. And this is where Cashman has to be creative. You're going to have to add to Torres to make a valuable trade. It's not going to be Torres for Shane Bieber. That's never going to happen. Okay, you're going to do Torres and a good prospect or 2 for somebody like Bieber, or maybe you could package him to the White Sox for Giolito. You add a prospect, Torres. Maybe you can get Giolito in one of those relievers. I even address 2 holes for 1 or something like that. But this is the opportunity for Cashman to be creative, and if I can encourage them to be proactive, because I do think other teams like the Orioles and the Blue Jays and the AL East are going to make moves before the deadline. And do I want them to take the guys that we should be getting? No. So if I'm them, I'm not waiting until the deadline to make moves. I'm doing it before. We can't wait until Jay comes back. He's not going to be back for weeks.
That's the thing.
Weeks. We got to be proactive now.
Because there's also no set timetable or set return date for Judge. And that's the other thing that hurts.
Yeah.
And, Tats and I were talking about this on the Pinstripe Express. What's the one thing that happens to the Yankees when someone gets hurt, someone big, like an Aaron Judge? They shut off. Mm-hmm. And then they roll to this. They shut off and they roll to this because they think they can't do it. And this is where I'm holding Boone accountable, because he doesn't tell them, okay, Judge is hurt. Fine, but we still have to pick up that load, and we need to get fired up over this. Yeah. This should fire you up. Boone doesn't do that, it seems like. And I'm not saying that he's a bad manager or a good manager. But in this sense, he's got to be held accountable because it is his job to fire his team up, and he doesn't seem to do that all the time. He seems very lackadaisical at times.
Yep. And to Mark Watson's point, Chaparro and Peraza, you have guys that are tearing the cover off the ball in AAA right now, who show fire, who show energy, things that the Yankees lack right now, right?
Florial.
Florial too. But like right now, if Rizzo's hurt, I don't think he's recovered yet from the neck collision. Put him on the IL and call up Chaparro, please. Right? If Donaldson's going to do nothing but hit a home run every other third day, it's time for. I think the Yankees are trying to figure out a way to DFA him and justify it. To be honest with you, and
there's no justifying it. You made the trade. You messed up. Own it.
Well, that
if
too.
You're wrong. Stay wrong.
That's it. And you call up Peraza to make amends for it. Right?
Yeah, especially us as a fan base. Like, at what point do you realize we will actually celebrate you making a smart decision like getting rid of Hicks? We will celebrate you getting rid of Donaldson. You were man enough to say, hey, guys, you know what? I'm going to put my pride aside. I screwed up with Hicks. Let's let him go. And in true fashion, he's going over there at the Orioles. He's doing what he does. We're used to that. But it wasn't working here. Do it with Donaldson already. It makes no sense. Like, why do we have to be misery? You forced us through the whole Gallows shit last year. Don't make us do it again for another season with someone else. It doesn't make sense.
True.
Put him out of his misery.
The problem with Florial is there are so many the fan base is on the fence with him. You know, we've seen him being get called up, and as my co-host on the Pitch Chronicles, Donaldson, they yankified him. You know, they called him up like we were talking about a minute ago with Crook. They sit on the bench and they just rust.
Yeah. And
then we expect them to just be an all-star as soon as they get the tap on the shoulder to play. Florial got screwed. Okay.
Yes.
And every time that they were putting him in a situation, and the second that he wasn't able to come through with a big hit or a big play, we're like, oh, what a bust. You're seeing what he's doing in AAA. Why not just roll the dice? Give him one last shot. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work. With Judge being out, here is that window that you could bring up Florial, plug him into the outfield, and while Judge is out, just let it ride. It can't be worse than having a third baseman playing center field in IKF.
No.
We already saw, they already missed that window for Peraza while Donaldson was out. They're not utilizing the windows to see what they have when the opportunity is staring them right in the face. That's such an organizational problem that I think on all of our channels that we've been screaming about for months, even years, that they are not utilizing the opportunities to see what they have. Where every other team is saying, all right, we're going to bring you up. If it clicks, it clicks.
If it doesn't, it doesn't.
Yeah.
Look at the Orioles with Grayson Rodriguez. He got shelled. They didn't hesitate to send him down to get his mechanics fixed. And guess what? They said, all right, cool. It didn't work out. No sweat off our back. We'll send him down to get fixed up, and then we'll bring him back up if we feel he's ready. And, I just want to give a shout out to Pete Simonetti on this, but he brought up a great point, which was, you have these guys what kind of magical bean are you going to eat for us to try to blindfold us? Because we're not stupid. We know what's going on. You got to eventually cut your losses and hold that accountability, because there is zero accountability being held altogether. I don't care what anyone says. Upper management has no accountability. Boone has no accountability. The players have no accountability. Nobody has accountability.
And tying that into, especially players like, I was thinking about this, their philosophy. Well, what if it were me, if I had an opportunity to do this, like if you were playing lackadaisical, you're automatically sitting the next game.
Yep.
And again, you do that enough, I know like the common emotion is to trade these guys. Sometimes it's harder to do that, but if you could affect their ability to secure a big contract, at some point it's going to catch on, right? If you sit Glaber enough, he's not going to get a big contract like he should after next year. You got to hold him accountable. You're lackadaisical players. You're sitting 2 games. That's it. But you got to hold to it. You got to do it, okay?
They don't do that, though.
No, they don't. And
but what makes it even harder is it'd be a different situation if it was 1 or 2 guys that were shit in the bed, right?
Well,
everybody's in a funk.
Yes.
So, like, for instance, I was thinking about it last night. It's so easy right now to be like, oh, Stanton, Rizzo, they're trash.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're underperforming. There is no question about it. The guys that we need to be stepping up while Judge is out is not stepping up, right? But look at all the timing of it makes it even worse. Stanton just getting back from injury, right? We know it takes Stanton a minute for him to get back into a little groove, and then he'll start giving you those home runs, right? Let's be real. He's not the guy we're counting on to be the contact hitter of contact hitters in our lineup, right? But you've got Judge out at the exact same time that he comes back. You got Rizzo after the Tatis situation hasn't been the same. So with everybody shit in the bed, it's like, who do you bench? Who do you sit? Because you literally could just spin a wheel and be like, all right, today it's you and you, because no one's performing. So it feels like every single thing goes wrong each day. That makes it even harder for us as a fan base to be like, yo, what's the right move? What's the right decision?
But that's why last night's game was so emphasized, was the defensive collapse. Because we didn't even have a chance for our offense to get that mistake pitch to put us ahead, or even get us on the board for after the first inning. We put one up really quick. We're like, all right, let's see. They got a little fire. They want to give a little payback for what they did to us in the Bronx. Mm-hmm. And then Domingo collapsing, the defense assisting him and making it even worse. And I don't even want to get on Dominguez because he's had such a great year. I don't, every ace, every pitcher is going to have a bad game. Last night was his. Now let's see how he responds to that next time out. So I don't want to get too much on Dominguez. He should have been better. He didn't make any adjustments, to pitches that were working or not working. Mm-hmm. But that the defensive collapse just escalated all the frustration.
Yeah, and how many do you guys think they rushed Stanton back?
Yes.
That's
why I'm really happy that Harrison Bader asked for 2 more rehab games. He did that. I think it's important. Again,
you could have used him in the defense in the outfield last night. Yeah. I think that Bader made the right call. He knows. Yes. He knows his body. He trusts he knows what he's got to do, and you got to commend him for saying, "Hold on, don't rush me back yet."
Yeah, and again,
that's just wonders of him.
Yeah. So from Justin over here, let me know what you guys think of this. Yankees acquire Kyle Freeland, he's a left-handed pitcher for them, and the 65th pick. And the Rockies acquire Josh Donaldson, Rock Selvage, Yankee prospect, Jesus Bastidas. This trade opens up a spot for Oswald Peraza. Interesting. Because of Josh Donaldson.
It's interesting.
I don't know if Josh Donaldson has any trade value. I mean, his defense.
He doesn't.
But I don't know how much trade value he has. So you'd have to add prospects like they're doing.
So I've looked up on the MLB trade values because I've been doing these mock trades and I've been sending you Jason and Tats's. I think he has a negative 10.5 trade value. He's got 0 trade value.
Jesus, my God. Yeah.
As much as I would love to see that, it's not probably the Rockies probably wouldn't take that. Also, the other thing, to get back to what I was saying earlier about the thing that Pete Simonetti was saying, Florial's the only outfielder that is major league proven and major league ready.
True.
Yep.
This is true. He's proven it. I mean, he's destroying the ball in AAA. So, I mean, what else can you do? What else can you do?
What cuts me up, Jason, is like the one you just put up on the screen. I love those ones because it's one that's realistically not realistic, right? Because any trade that is just Josh Donaldson's name with nothing else attached to it, it's like, oh, look, we all can dream, right? I'm sorry. Like, we can't even get a new pretzel vendor for Josh Donaldson right now, okay? Like, that's how bad it is. But, maybe there is somebody out there, but I'm sorry. I don't see anybody taking Josh Donaldson in a trade without us attaching a shit ton to it.
Yes. Yep. I agree 100%. This is where Cashman has to be. This is uber creative. He could trade Torres. Donaldson, I think you're just going to have to let him walk at the end of the season.
Yeah.
And just pay him a $6 million buyout instead of the $16 million option. Eat it all the day.
What was that 3-team trade I sent you guys? You and Tats. That I did on MLB trade values.
I'll look up the text you sent me
because that might be something that the Yankees should seriously look into. Because I know they were getting Bellinger, as far as I remember, and Giolito, but they were sending the White Sox Torres and like 2 prospects, and then we were sending a couple other prospects to Chicago in return for.
That was that 3-team trade you sent me. Yeah.
Yeah, that one.
The Cubs might need a bigger return because of Bellinger, because he's got another year.
Yeah, but that's why I said you can add Elijah Dunham to it.
Yeah.
You don't have to worry about that. Just throw him into it. Because at this point, first off, that 3-team I sent you guys would work for 2 reasons. 1, it covers the bullpen, and 2, it gives you a left-handed bat, which we desperately need because we're too right-handed heavy.
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah, the breakdown of the trade you talking about, Mazza, is the Yankees would get Bellinger and Giolito.
Mm-hmm.
The White Sox get Sweeney and Torres, and the Cubs would get Vasquez, and then throw in Dunham if that needs to be added.
Yeah.
I mean, that's probably enough to get each player from their team, I would say. And he'd be sending the White Sox back major league ready guys.
Yep. But they've got to do something. They can't just – because we all know they're going to say, oh, but we're working. No, you're not working the phones. We all know this. We're not stupid.
But here's the thing, guys, and I'm not trying to play devil's advocate, but I know there's a big part of the fan base that probably agrees with this as well. With the way things are going right now and in the situation that we're in, we really have put ourselves in a spot where if they're not going to bring up the young guys, we're in that season that we're going to have to ride this bull crap. We're going to have to watch us with Donaldson the rest of the year, hope Severino does something because he's up for his contract year, hoping Glaber builds some value. Like, it's one of those ones where, to me, we're at the point where if it keeps going the way it's going, is it even worth trying to pull off any trades, period? Because we're going to get rid of everything in our core. It doesn't make sense. Like, we might have to literally ride this painful shit for us to get the change that we actually want.
Yeah.
I don't think you're that far off, Jaden. I really don't. I'm starting to especially with the news with the non-timetable for Judge. We might just have to write it out. And it's one of the things that I pointed out on another stream. I think it was with Hector and TC the other morning. Their backup plan is a year away. They didn't have the backup plan for this year because they're waiting on all these. They keep touting all these prospects, but they're not ready yet. So, what was your plan going into this year? Write it out, get some money off the books, and then reset. Just say so. We're not stupid fans. Yankee fans are we're spoiled. We could be a little arrogant. But we know we know the sport. We know our team. Not many fan bases can go from talking about a major league player to a Class A player and know what the hell we're talking about.
Yeah.
So when
I like what Brian said in the chat.
Talk to us like we are.
You see that one there where he said, let's try letting our current dudes be the dudes they are and show some personality and have some fun. Listen, I haven't seen people smiling in that dugout, period. Right? You've seen ever since Judge was gone too, the Rizzo and Judge bromance is not there. Like, they're not having a good time, right? And then the one time I do see them smiling is when we're getting spanked by the Red Sox. Glaber, what are you smiling about? Like, there's fun, and then there's stupid fun. Like that, there's nothing to be smiling about when you're getting spanked the way we were. But let's be real. We all would be ecstatic if Judge obviously was here, but if Stanton was hitting, if Rizzo was hitting, if they, the 5 guys that we should be relying on were doing something, this conversation would be a lot different. Then it'd be like, what could we really trade for? What's it worth doing? But I think things are being so clearly laid out for us as the fan base that watches every single game, win or lose. We're seeing we might be better off not selling, not buying, and holding off. Because outside of Giolito, I look at people like, what would Cashman really go for? He'd go for like a Tyler O'Neill. Right? Still on injury, coming back, kind of a risky move, but if he's fine, a good pickup for left field. But outside of that, guys, any other names that we really want, we're giving up everything. And then we're in a situation next year where we're questioning everything still.
If we want a blockbuster trade, we're going to have to trade minor leaguers, not major leaguers. We don't have anybody at the major league level where we can make a blockbuster trade. Even if you package Severino and Torres, you're not going to get a blockbuster trade.
No, you're going to get some low-level prospects in return for them.
Yeah, you get salary relief, but that's not enough for the Yankee team, right? It's not enough for the Yankee community, and we understand that too. So, that's one reason, we put out some of these regular trades. I mean, that can be doable, that they can actually think about and whatnot. Because, like you said, Jacob, too, those are the types of trades Cashman likes to make and can make at this point. Who in the
Yes,
hell?
but does he?
Well, that's the thing too. Like, who are you going to trade? Unless you start packaging Mike King and some of these other guys, you want some serious return. You're going to have to do that. You're going to have to do that. But
And those are going to sting. But yeah, you're going to have to.
And let's be real, guys. It's a different time this year.
Yeah.
Right. Usually we have a little bit of the power when it comes to these trade conversations. Hal may not do it right. Cashman may not do them right. But we usually have a little bit of, hey, it's the Yankees. You got to figure most of the other teams right now are saying, yo, those Yankees are a freaking mess. They're talking more about the Rays than they're talking about the Yankees, period. So I don't see them knocking on our door begging for our guys.
Yeah.
And how many times have we seen on a good year they try to handcuff the Yankees and fleece us in a trade? Now that we're a sitting duck, man, they're going to ask for. They're going to start every conversation with Volpe, Peraza, Dominguez.
Yep.
If the conversation doesn't start with those three guys contacting the Yankees, that GM should be fired. You could almost see that's what's going to happen.
Yeah, and Ted, don't forget possibly Spencer Jones.
I'm not anticipating a lot of movement on the Yankee front. I think they're just going to, like Jigga started, was pointing out, we might have to go in the direction of just kind of sitting in the sinking ship until relief comes next year.
Yeah, I mean, they do have $70 million coming off the books after the season. So financial flexibility, you can go get guys. It's going to be a heavy free agent class with pitching. But I think they're going to be buyers and sellers both. But nothing crazy.
Jason, how great would it be if? And I hate saying great, but for you, I listen and watch your stuff all the time, right? Since we started the Brew, we've always messed with 161 River Ave.
Yeah.
And you always make great points, but doesn't it almost feel like, man, wait till that money falls off. We hopefully get those young guys actually come up. We get up the middle that we were promised with Volpe at second, not at short, right? We see those moves done, and then we really have a season where we can make some moves, if anything. But, man, I'm sorry. I'm just worried that we're going to end up making something just to appease people, and they're going to be like, oh, look at Hal, look at Cashman, and they gut everything for what? Third place in our division, maybe?
Yeah, and this is why I'm in favor of pushing for a Torres trade, because then it makes it easier to move Volpe to second and move Peraza to short, where he's the best fit in the entire organization. Okay, not even close. He's elite. You put your best defender at second, shortstop. Volpe's a more natural fit there. And we need to move Torres so we don't have to wait a year and a half for this project to actually take place, right? And I do expect to get a boatload. No, if you can get a controllable reliever, Cashman's good at getting relievers with controllable years. He's an expert at that. So get that. If you don't get Giolito, do something, right? Because
an Aaron Bummer.
Or a Garrett Crochet, you add something. Yes.
How about a Scott Barlow?
A Barlow. I think you could probably get somebody like that. And again, we need somebody in the back end of the bullpen. I love the fact that Clay Holmes is turning back to a good Clay Holmes, but we're down Efrost, we're down Trevino, we're down Weber, we're down so many guys. We just need a reliable back end piece right now. And again, somebody like Barlow or one of these guys, Bummer would be a nice fit here. So, because I do think Wandy Peralta is overused.
Yep.
I think Ron Marinaccio is overused.
Yep.
I did a video on this yesterday. I was comparing the numbers for last year. They were only at the halfway point. Some of these guys already matched their yearly numbers from last year. That's overuse.
That's terrible.
So that's why I'm in favor of them getting more relievers. But but this
same thing with Cortez.
We're not going to get.
I was just going to say that's why we're seeing Cortez kind of slide a little bit.
Yep, because he's maxed. He was maxed out from last year when he surpassed the most innings, or he doubled
it.
The innings that he pitched. The most innings he's ever pitched in his career last year.
He eclipsed it by 90 innings. 90. Generally, the rule of thumb is 40 innings plus in a season. 40, 50 innings increase. Let them adapt.
He's at 90.
He doubled it. Which is crazy, but that's something that needs to be factored in. And it could be an overuse problem. It could be a shoulder. And when the shoulders are temperamental, right? It's just like the elbow. I mean, shit.
I know about shoulder injuries. I have a torn labrum and rotator cuff. So that's what the long-term effect can be.
That's the type of stuff. But again, the Yankees also had no choice last year. It was Cortez, Cole, and nobody else.
Yeah.
They had to overuse Cole. And that's the other part of the situation. And I think it's important to point out, too, that not everybody wants to come here. Not everybody wants to be traded here or play here. So the Yankees limited. Yeah, their options are somewhat limited to a degree. not fully. I mean, Cashman's, he does a good job at certain things. He does a bad job at certain things. But that's the other thing. We just can't go out and get whoever we want whenever we want. So.
That's an interesting point of view, Jason, because we can make a trade for all these guys that we want, but if they don't want to be here when they're traded, you're going to have a bitter player being, blended in with a hostile fan base.
Look at
That
Benintendi.
is not going to work.
We got a bigger party now. We got Hector and Steels in the house. Okay, and to your point, Andrew Benintendi did not want to be here.
No.
That's why he didn't resign. You made a perfect example. What's up, Steels? What's up, Hector? Gentlemen, can you hear us?
Yeah, I can hear you. It wasn't correlated. Me and TC didn't decide to show up, just to say what's up to you guys. How you doing, Jason? I heard Uncle Tats and Mazza was with you, so I had to show up, and then Jiggle Man's here. But Jason, what it do, my guy?
This is like the by far the best looking sixth group of men right here in the whole world.
You'll never get a better channel than this.
I always elevate the people I'm around. My looks always elevate people. So I appreciate you guys.
If you look up sexy in the dictionary, our pictures are going to be right there.
Yeah, I'm wearing my hat like this because this is how the Yankees are playing. A bunch of clowns. This is what they look like out there. So that's my tribute.
What do you guys take on this? We were just talking about this, accountability-wise. If a player like Gleyber Torres or somebody else showed a lapse in focus or just lack of would you sit him for a couple days?
TC, you could go first. Go ahead, TC.
Yeah, there is no accountability for anybody on this team. It's like a free for all. They can do what they want. I know it's Donaldson. He made an error. No big deal. Yawn. Nothing. Gleyber smiling and giggling in the dugout. This team, they act as if they could just turn it on and we'll second half we'll come back. We'll no worries. What's the fan? Why are you guys all worrying, man? We're good. It drives me insane the lackadaisical and the nonchalant attitude on this team.
Yes.
There's just, and it stems from Boone. Boone doesn't discipline anybody, and at this point, how do we don't have anybody to fill in. These guys know that they're going to be penciled in the lineup day in, day out because there's no other guys. They know they're not going to bring up any, Peraza, Florio, all the guys we've been screaming about. They know it. They know they're safe, and it's just sad. It's sad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Hector.
No, I was just going to add on to that. When it comes down to it, Gleyber Torres reminds me, and Josh Donaldson reminds me of the guys that you work with, that that they need to be fired, or that HR needs to have a conversation with them, and just never happened. That's how I feel when it comes to watching this team. And like TC said, the lack of accountability. Now, we know Aaron Boone, he's not going to take it back to the 80s, flipping tables, dropping F-bombs here or there in post games. We understand that. But show that you care. Show that you actually care as a manager, right? Tats, you come from a place where your regular job, you come from a place of being a supervisor. So if you don't care, the workers that are underneath you aren't going to care at the same time. Same thing for me, same thing for Sells.
Yeah.
And Donald, Tats' co-host, uses a very good term. It's gaslighting. Mm-hmm. That's what it is.
Yeah.
I wish our front office would get as loud as Maz's kids, bro. Good for y'all, these players, bro. Your kid was like, Yankees.
Yeah, it's a problem when the Yankee fan community cares about the players do. When it feels that way, right? It does feel that way a lot, which is why, like you said, too, Steele's call Peraza up here, right? Put Rizzo on the IL if he's not healthy. Just put him on the fucking IL. Call up Chaparo.
And that's the thing. They don't do that. They let them play hurt, and then they get even more hurt, and then they're out for a longer and more extended period of time.
Yeah, look, we're missing our personality and our fire right now with Bader. We're missing our heart and soul with Judge. So they have to be smart about what they do. Judge is not coming back for weeks, right? And
he's dealing with a second toe ligament now.
Yeah, he got a second injection yesterday because of ligament. So this is worse than broken.
Why don't you treat both of them? What are the medical staff? Are they Are they for real? Or I don't
No,
get it.
from what I read,
Not
they
in
didn't
6
see the
weeks.
second ligament until all the inflammation had descended.
Ah, okay.
So they to this point they only thought there was the one issue with a ligament. As that one healed, then new testing discovered that
Okay.
there was an issue with a different one.
Yeah, he's getting his
Hey.
platelet rich plasma stuff. That's what Kobe Bryant was getting when he was hurt too. So
Yeah, but also too, we wouldn't be having this conversation if in the offseason Brian Cashman actually went out there and filled in an actual major league roster,
we just
right?
said
And I
that
keep
earlier.
on saying this.
That's
There
the
is
point.
there is no excuse that you decided to come into a season with the left field platoon of 2 guys that aren't outfielders and Aaron Hicks. That's just poor mismanagement and poor assembling of a team. There's no excuse. What makes you think that Aaron Hicks, IKF, and Oswald Cabrera are going to equal to a major league output of a left fielder? That doesn't make any sense. We wouldn't be having these conversations about how bad our offense looks without Judge if we would have got Judge some reinforcement to help him out in the lineup.
Yeah.
It'd be like an NBA team being like, hey, Jigga, bring your 5'7" ass and be the center for the New York Knicks. Like, what are you talking about?
And I want to add on one thing, right? Because, yes, as Yankee fans, we are spoiled. Yes, this team constantly is making it to the playoffs and we get eliminated in the playoffs. But the one thing I want to ask you guys, I know some of you guys follow the NBA as well, right? Do you want to be considered like the Atlanta Hawks? You remember the Atlanta Hawks year in and year out was winning 50 games, 60 games, making to the playoffs, getting to the Eastern Conference Finals, but getting eliminated every year by the Cleveland Cavaliers. Do you want to be the Atlanta Hawks or do you want to be the Golden State Warriors? Who are we as an organization?
Yeah, that's just true.
Good reference.
Great way of looking at it.
But I gotta dip out just because I'm about to drive to Jersey. I just wanted to come up and bless you fine, beautiful fellas on the panel right now. Shameless plug. Morning Brew Sports, we are at 692 subs, 8 away from 700. So if there's anybody in the chat, if you guys can support us, go subscribe to Morning Brew Sports. Help us get to 700 subs. Also, Jason, I appreciate you always extending the invitation to have us on your panel. Uncle Tats, you handsome, bald bastard Jew, I love you. Peace out to everybody in the chat.
Salute, brother.
Later,
brother.
guys.
Yeah, and anybody in there, if you haven't subscribed to the Pinstripe Conference, please do. Pinstripe Express, Yankees Morning Brew. These are fantastic channels. They're all bring passion and everything you can want for Yankee channels. So appreciate your help. Appreciate your support. Thanks so much for doing this, guys. But to Gary's point, we need to rebuild and break it down. To what extent do you think the Yankees would ever break it down? Guys, what do you think? I mean, yeah, those guys are ahead of us.
I think that they fall under 500, and all those teams are still ahead of them. If they really fall that far out of the wild card standing, I think that's when it's going to be all right. There's no climbing out of this hole.
No, absolutely.
Do you guys remember what your record was when you started selling off Miller, Chapman, Beltran, those? Were they above 500? I don't remember. To be honest with you.
I don't either. I think we were right around that mark.
Yeah, I don't think
They
they
were
below
right around
500.
that mark. They were
Yeah.
around that mark when they traded Chapman. They were, I think, a game under 500 when they traded Miller, because they did it all like within a very similar time frame,
Like a week.
within a week of each other.
Yeah.
And we ended up improving our record and making the postseason.
I mean, they
So
also
what is? So I don't understand.
Baby Bombers.
Yep. And I don't understand what is stopping them now from doing something like that. Because there should be no excuse, because that's all we're hearing from them, is excuses on why we can't do this and why we can't do that. Oh, well, the payroll's too high. You are the New York Yankees. Get real.
Yeah,
This is what you are known for. This is what your old man made this team known for, spending money.
Yeah.
Get real. Come back to the planet Earth.
It's true. I will say this, though. We don't have anybody as dominant as Miller was or Chapman or anything. Those guys were money when they got traded.
Yeah.
We don't have anybody like Torres. He's up and down. We know that. Severino, barely stay healthy and productive. So these guys have trade value, but like Jiggs are not going to get anything big and significant. Right?
Yeah, and we also got to look at the other side of it too, guys, right? Where if we get our wish, we get these young guys, we get rid of Donaldson, right? We move on some of these contracts. we also got to be prepared as a fan base for even darker times. If we're all begging for the call the young guys up, we're gonna have to go through that pain, right? Because imagine if they're all coming up and having that Volpe start, right?
Yeah.
But that's the thing. We have to understand if we're asking for it and we get it, there's going to be a little bit darker times. And we're going to have to hope that we go. But I think we need to pull away from the constant, we need to go get a star. We need the top names. That's what hurts us.
What's that doing for the Mets this year?
Exactly. Thank you. That was my next point, Ted. What a segue. Take it away.
Yeah, but the Yankees don't do that. They don't retool it and dump everybody and try to start over like Jigga's saying, with just all rookies. It's not going to happen. Their payroll is going to sit at $300 million, and they're going to want star players to draw the fans. That's all they care about is the money. They look at Judge. They're not telling us about Judge because they want to sell tickets. They don't want everybody to just say, "Oh, forget it." I mean, they got the Stantons and the Donaldsons and the big names. That's all they care about, the big names. When all our best players are in AA and AAA, and they don't play the best players ever. And it's really maddening to us. Like, you're running out Willie Calhoun in left field. He can't play left field, and they haven't had a decent outfield since. Judge and Bader. Have they even played together? What, more than 2-3 games?
No, they haven't.
It's disgusting. This is a $300 million payroll, and they look like they're a $20 million payroll. I mean, it's awful. These teams, Tampa, Arizona, they're running rings around the Yankees.
But
it's sad.
We're so used to as a fan base that it's about the payroll. There's several teams that are showing that they have way less payroll than the Yankees do, and they're seeing success.
It's
but they tried that route, and then we all called them cheap.
And scouting.
I mean,
here's the problem.
Jason, I see it even in the chat. Who was it? Januzzi Charles. Could New York Yankee fans put up with a year like the Rays last year, right? Having that young core, like really going through that pain. Yeah, right. Because you've got us real fans, right? And not saying that we're all not real fans, but you've got those that are the corporate fans, right? The ones that are listening to the John Boys, the Yes Network, and Cashman is the best. Aaron Boone is a legend. And then you've got the other side that's just like, I'm gonna forget the names on the jersey. I'm gonna forget the people in the office. I'm gonna look at the facts and the game that I'm watching right now. The money that I'm putting into your MLB TV package that I'm wasting watching a product that doesn't match what I'm investing, right?
Mm-hmm. So, and that's the
expectations.
Right.
You know what the other issue is? They don't see in between the lines. All they see is money, money, money. How can we make more money? And how can we screw the fans?
And let's be real. It's the Yankees. Even if we brought every young guy up here, you're going to tell me that we're not going to sell tickets? It's the freaking Yankees. It's Yankee Stadium. It's freaking New York. The ticket sales will be there.
Yeah. Don't worry about that. You'll make your money.
It's the elitist attitude. That's what they have.
Yep.
Elitist attitude.
They got all these TV deals. Jason, Pat, I know you and Hector have talked about it, TC and Jigga have as well. There's all these TV deals that they want to bring up. Let's go out and get Apple TV. Let's go out and use Amazon Prime. Let's go out and use Peacock. What about the fans? Why do we got to get screwed in the long run?
Yeah, it's bad enough the ticket prices are high, and now you got to pay for 5 or 6 different subscriptions just to watch the games every night.
Yeah,
like,
and if you don't pay for the subscription, of what Apple going to watch. Then my wife's questioning me like, what is this porn ad? It wasn't me. I swear. I'm just trying to stream the game. Okay.
No, I think that also it goes to the, with this whole tear down possibility, which we know they'll never do it. But it is that elitist attitude. You're looking about a storied franchise that if these are the Yankees, just like when the Red Sox did it, the Cardinals have had to kind of rebuild a little bit, but it's not working in their favor, but that happens. The Dodgers are kind of, you have Atlanta is another good example. These storied franchises that have had to kind of take a step back, reset, rebuild their identity, and then come back into play.
Yeah.
the Yankees feel like they are so above everybody else
Mm-hmm.
that
they're-
we can't do that. That's not how we do it.
Yep.
But their method is working. Ours isn't.
Yep.
They don't learn from their mistakes.
And to your point,
That's another big problem.
yep. And to your
That's the
point,
definition of insanity, bro.
yep.
Yeah.
And to your point, Tats, too, what's blown by the Yankees, they're not reeling these teams are light years ahead of us now. They've
Oh.
developed these players for years.
Yep.
Right? They've
Look
drafted
at Atlanta with
Yes.
what's his name, Acuna and Michael Harris,
Well,
and
all these
Austin
guys.
Riley.
all these guys. I mean,
They locked them up.
Yep.
Yeah.
And they lock them up for a long period of time.
Look at Tampa with Wander Franco.
I did a video. Just one of the things the Rays did very, very well is they draft like 95% of their draft picks like pitchers. Pitchers. That's one reason why they have so much goddamn pitching. Okay, they have 3 guys on the Tommy John this year. They still have pitching depth through the ass. So
Miami's another one.
well, which I hope. I hope the reason why Sabian and Minaya are here to help the Yankees get better in drafting. Okay, I really do because
This is a big
We
year
need
for
it.
them.
yeah, it's a huge year. And if I'm them, I'm drafting college pitcher after college pitcher after college pitcher. We need to load up our minor leagues with goddamn pitchers. Okay, and you get
Manaya's another one. Not Manaya. I mean, what's the name? The dude from
Sabian?
Tampa, Wander Franco.
Oh, on the
Mhm.
front.
Mm-hmm.
That's another one. I mean, Miami's another one. Look at them. I mean,
Arizona.
you can look
Yeah.
at their farm system, and their first 10 prospects are either pitchers or outfielders. That's insanity.
It's,
And you know what makes this even worse to talk about? And I hate to bring this up because it's the Oakland A's and they're such a disastrous franchise. They have more hits than we do up to this point than they did last year.
yeah,
That's an embarrassment.
Yeah.
it's freaking nuts.
Yeah.
I'm really hoping that the Yankees have a good draft this year. I mean, why else did you bring Minaya and Sabian if you're not going
If you're not going to use them.
unleash them into draft?
That's-
Unleash these guys,
Yep.
okay?
That's
Jason,
the key.
can you put Billy Branch's last comment on there?
Yes, sir.
I just want to recognize him, Billy Branch.
He's killing the chat.
Billy brings the fire, man. I mean,
You know, as fans, our measure of success for the Yankees is championships. For Hal in the front office is business partnerships and profits. Makes me shake my head.
Bingo.
we got this one too. Is this his last one or his one?
Yeah. Oh no, that's not his last one.
Hang on.
That's a good one too.
Oh, here we go. Here we go. Yeah. Fans are measured. Yeah.
You know, and it's true. We all see it. We all know it. You know, I saw somebody else, and I mean, the chat, by the way, great chat, bro. They're just nonstop.
They're loading it up.
Holy shit! Like,
Look for the chat.
for a second, I was about to be the morning brew. I was about to do a roll call for you, bro. I was
Do it.
But you know, I saw somebody earlier said the same thing, where they said, "Bring the rookies up, you'll still sell the tickets. You're still going to get it. If anything, you're going to sell out more because you're making everybody happy, and everybody wants to see the young guys and see the change of philosophy and thought."
Yes.
You know?
Amen.
You're bringing even more money because everybody's going to want the new jerseys for the new players.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I would rather have a competitive year and not make the playoffs with these rookies than invest any more money into making a trade for a superstar that's at the tail end of his career. Because I said it the other day with Mazza and with Mike Cho, we need less Donaldsons and more Perazzas.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's it.
Jason,
That was there's no other way to put it.
Yes.
Could you bring up Stephen B's comment? That was a very, you know what? Because I want to give him a shout out for this because he's on the money with this. But
Yeah.
Yo,
Yankees need to
Mazda,
learn.
check the private chat real quick. Look at the private chat. Look what I wrote. I said,
Yep.
yo, someone put up Stephen B's
Yeah.
comment.
The Yankees need to learn that we don't care about stars and big names. We just want a winning team, and they can win a World Series. We need to get back to small ball contact hitting and good defense. He could not be more right if he wanted to. Because
and the other thing, Mazda, hold on, and I don't mean to cut you off. Let's be real, guys. If you ask anybody to put their top 5 right now of the best players in MLB, injured or not, Judge is on that list.
Yeah. Number 1 should be.
We have a star. We have these stars. Granted, we run into the stupidest injuries, but we have a captain and a star. So every other team would love to have our star. So why is the conversation constantly about a star?
What?
Get rid of the trash. Bring up the youth. All right, I'm sorry. You know what? I'm gonna walk away and hit my baby.
Here's the other thing that blows my mind, and I don't know, Jason, Jigga, TC, Tats, and this does the same for you, but they said they were going to build around Judge. Where did they build around Judge? They didn't. Who did they give him
back?
I think it's
Who
important.
did they give him to build around? Because
No,
they didn't
you
give
misread
anybody.
it, Mazda. They didn't say build around Judge. They said they were going to build an area in the stadium for Judge.
All they did was get Rodon, and he's hurt. We haven't even seen him. That's
Yeah.
the only new guy. That's it. And
What have you done to live up to what you told Judge? Because now Judge is probably scratching his head like, why did I sign that contract?
Didn't we say this last year, Mazza? Once they signed Judge to that $40 million a year, they were going to tighten the purse strings.
Yep.
But not tell us that they were going to do that.
Yep.
That's exactly what they did. They tightened the purse strings, right? And what the freak, man? Like
you can't tie all your money up in 4 or 5 players and let the rest of the team suffer with role player utility players.
I think a combination of superstars, veterans, and young kids is the right mix of people. When the Yankees
and like I said before, the best players are in AA and AAA, and they refuse to play them,
which is crazy. Yankees, the best Yankees teams felt like blue collar teams. This is not like blue collar. I feel like I'm playing. I feel like I'm, paying Rolls Royce prices, but I'm driving a fucking Pinto. Okay.
Yeah.
That's not
what
fun.
it is.
That's not fun. So it's
I like your boy there. It's your boy with the super chat with the Drewski profile pic. But I mean,
no, you're looking fresh, man. I appreciate that. I mean, if they don't get this year major shakeup, it should happen. The young guys should get a lot more playing. Damn right they should. I don't know if some people are okay with those run the front office, but at one point, I mean, look, I think holding some people in the front office accountable. I think holding some people in the medical staff accountable. No matter who their doctors are, they get injured more than any team I've ever come across in my whole life. Like, how in the hell do you have 15 guys in the deal at the same time? How is it possible?
Yeah. Now, we're always screaming about accountability, and when it comes to a lot of the medical issues, why is Dr. Ahmad never under fire?
Thank you.
How is the training staff or, the dietitian, the guy that walks around behind everybody with a Gatorade? It's always their fault, but why isn't Dr. Ahmad under the spotlight saying, they're making good money being a doctor for the New York freaking Yankees, especially with the amount of injuries we have. His business is both. But we never put him under the spotlight of, all right, how come you didn't see anything? Why is it always hot potato to the guy under you?
Yeah, well, exactly.
What about Dylan Lawson? How come he's not getting any heat?
Yep.
With all the stuff he says, and it takes Austin Wells and Chicken Parm to fix Volpe's stance, and he can't do it.
This goes back to the Yankees not telling us anything, because we don't really know what Dylan Lawson's contributing and not contributing either, right? They don't tell us shit.
Nope.
They don't tell us anything.
I just want to say that those medical bills must be through the roof.
Dude, Dr. James Andrews is like the king of Tommy John. Half the Yankee team was probably at his wedding. So, because there's so many Tommy John patients on the Yankees team. And Isai, I mean, the chef, cooking up nice. Soto and Mur. I think they can get Soto and Murakami for probably the same price of Ohtani.
Yes.
Yeah.
Really? Soto?
I want Soto and I want Dylan Cease.
Oh shit! If you can get Cease, man, pretty
nice.
nice.
Those are my two. I really.
You're gutting the farm system. You're gutting the farm system for Soto.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
100.
What do you think it would cost for Soto? Because the Padres wants are different than the Nationals want.
Dominguez is going to be in there.
Yeah, I
Spencer
agree.
Jones or Peraza is going to be in there.
I say both.
Where would they play Peraza?
I don't know, but they're gonna want one of them though.
They have Machado. They have a star-studded infield already. Where would they play him?
They're gonna want 4 of the top 5.
Other than Peraza.
You can move what's his name to second and put him at short.
Who?
Bogarts.
Would they want Drew Thorpe?
Drew Thorpe might have to go.
I mean, I see him being included in a package, especially for Soto. He'd be to that as well.
What was that trade I sent you, Tats?
I just pulled it up. All right, this was the trade that we talked about on the Pinstripe Express last Saturday. The trade would be for Soto and Hader. Right?
Oh, okay.
And we would give up Arias, Dominguez, Marinaccio, Peraza, and Warren.
That doesn't get it done.
That doesn't get done.
Not for
More.
both.
I agree with those pieces, right? But again, when did you put that option out last weekend? Cool.
Yeah.
Since then, we saw Marinaccio blow up again, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that dropped down. So yeah, I think those are that's like the little pieces you just put in
Right.
as fillers, but
Yeah.
you're adding so much more for
Yeah.
Soto too.
It's like, and that is pretty much as equal. And then, like I said, this was last weekend. That and that was a very even. I think it was by 0.2.
By 0.2 it was. It was 68.4 going to the Padres, 68.2 going to the Yankees.
Really?
Oh. Yeah.
Interesting. Now, Hector was talking about the other day about the Padres being in a little bit of a financial precarious.
Yeah, they lost their TV.
Valley
deal.
Sports. Yeah.
So I wonder if that's going to affect to make them a little bit more desperate to move Juan Soto.
Well, that's what's making the Soto discussions a little more on the hot stove.
No, I wonder
with all the money they already dumped in, they can't give him a long-term deal right now.
Nope.
Yeah. And he's
So
gonna cost $400 million.
you might as well try to kind of attack them while they're a little weak.
See, my issue is, guys, yes, Soto. Wow, right? I mean, amazing, right? He'd be huge.
Mhm.
But then we're back in the same routine.
Right.
We celebrate, we got a Soto, and then we still have all the other pieces that we have to fill in. We still have to figure out what we're doing at certain positions. We still need to work on that bullpen. I mean, I don't know about you guys, but I'm still dying to have a real closer. Yeah, we can see ourselves say Michael King might be in there, and work his way to that. But I mean,
that's why in that deal you're asking for Bader as well.
For Hader.
Hader.
Oh, Hader, yeah.
Josh Hader.
Yeah, that's a dream scenario.
He's gonna make.
I'm almost to the point where I'm like, all right, if we make that deal and Soto gets us a World Series before he reaches free agency and resets our clock of, all right, we got there, we won, is that worth the cost of getting winning a World Series? Because if you have Soto in the outfield with a healthy Judge and a healthy Bader,
that's great.
Holy shit! There sounds a lot of your defense, in the outfield, sounds all of it, and you don't have to worry about me complaining that Stanton's not playing the outfield.
Yeah.
Because then Yankee fans aren't complaining, oh, well, now we haven't won a World Series. No, now you won a World Series, and now if you let Soto go, you aren't going to hear a single thing because that deal that you made just got you a championship.
And what if they got creative and gave Soto an opt-out after 5 years? Where he turns 30, then he could bounce and get a bigger contract and let somebody else overpay for the wrong side of 30.
You could do that.
You just said something I've never heard before, Jason. Hal and Cashman being creative?
Yeah, I know. Novel concept, right?
They think they are, but
yeah,
they're not.
Hey, Jason, I got to get out of here. I want to ask you one question and the rest of the guys on the panel before I go. We always got to look at who's going to be the scapegoat, right? Every sport does it, right? When you're shitting the bed, you need someone who's going to be the scapegoat. Who are you guys making that one person the scapegoat? Whether it's a player, whether it's the front office, specific people. If you can only choose one person to be that scapegoat that you literally send to the shadow realm and get rid of, who is it?
It's a good question.
Ooh.
That's a food.
Oh, yeah, blow your minds in the
Yeah.
right? All right, have fun. Peace.
That's a good question, bro. Anybody guys have? I don't have my answer yet. Sure.
I'll tell you who it is.
I would make it Boom.
Yeah.
It's you could always plug in a manager.
Probably.
How much worse can the next guy be? Yeah. So I think that Boom would be the fall guy.
Probably.
If they fall that. Although we don't know, it should have been Cashman.
Yeah.
It should be Cashman, but his middle name is Steinbrenner.
The other thing with Cashman makes these people filthy ass rich.
Yeah.
They're not going to get rid of their best business asset.
Yeah.
It's not going to happen. So if it's probably Boom. Probably Boom.
Yeah, I agree with that. I also think it's going to be Boom. I think that'll be the scapegoat.
What are your thoughts, Steels?
I don't know. Yeah, it ain't Cashman. Cashman's like part of the Steinbrenner family. So I don't know. Boone's their little puppet. But I think it's gonna have to be. The other coaches alone won't be won't be do. You know, that won't take it.
We may need
Yeah.
multiple scapegoats here. This is a multiple scapegoat situation, I think. We're probably going to be booing some of the coaches. And
Yeah, because realistically, the ones you want to really put the blame on, but we all know it. They're not going anywhere.
So, Jacob, man, I got a question to you before you dip out.
All right.
What do you think of Luis Rojas becoming the manager if Boone gets canned?
Here's my thing. If we bring any manager in because they actually get rid of Boone, just somebody that's going to light a fire under the players' asses, right?
Okay.
Because guys, as much as we want to bash on Boone and he's earned us bashing him, right? I still look at the fact that he's finagled enough, even with the mistakes he makes, for us to have a top 7 now, top 8 bullpen and pitching staff with all the injuries and everything. He plays with what he has, right? And that comes from the front office. He's given the crap. He's not making the decision on what players we're signing and bringing in. Right? He's not making this decision on who's going to be in left field. He's like, okay, I've got 3 first basemen, a second baseman, and a DH who I need to use in left field. Right? Yeah. So to me, any coach that comes in needs to be someone that's willing to stand up a little bit to the front office. You're not going to get success if you don't have a little bit of that headbutting of, no, that's not a good decision. So I feel whatever manager they bring in is just going to be another captain. Yes. So the conversation on manager, I mean, literally, like I said on the Yanks Brew, you could bring the freaking water boy in to be the manager. As long as it's someone that's going to sit there and say, yes, whatever you say, Cash, whatever you say, Hal. That's the shit that we're stuck with.
Yes, puppetry.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, Jason, man, I appreciate you bringing me on, bro. The chat, you guys were freaking amazing. Tats.
No hoodie, but come on, let's go.
Yeah, buddy. Mazza, TC. I'll see you for work on Monday, my guy. And,
Jacob, we got to get you on to the to the Pinstripe Express.
Let's make it happen. Just let me know. You guys know I'll figure out a way. Look, I popped up a laptop. I got a you know, I'm feeling like you won't park over there. Later, guys.
Have a great day, Jacob.
Later, chat.
Peace, brother. Thank you, man. First class all the way.
Yes.
Yeah, man, I'm saying, dude.
And I'm convinced that Justin and LI are the same person.
I think so, too.
The only other person that's brought up Manny Acta.
Manny Acta, exactly. Mm-hmm. Why does he have to change his name to come on my things?
Yep.
Just say you're LA Yankee King. Say it.
Yep. Yeah, I've never heard that name outside of LI before.
I know.
If he starts going in on Florial, then you know it's him.
No, he did before.
Okay.
He's been on Florial. But no, it's all about Jason.
Trade DJ, then you know it's him.
This team is just in so much trouble. We could sit here for another 2 hours and still not figure everything out, and still have things that we haven't even discussed.
Well, let's finish it off. Who do you think would be the best trade partner on the Yankees? What team?
White Sox, I would say, just because they need a second baseman. And you can maybe throw the Cubs in there because we need an outfielder. But other than that, everyone else is going to try to fleece us for every last nickel, dime, and dollar that we've got.
Yeah, 100%. They seem to be the most realistic multiple player trade partner. What do you guys think? Tats, Steels?
I think at this juncture right now, I think it's the White Sox that we'd have to call, but I don't think there's a clear-cut team because there's no team is completely out of it yet. And with this expanded playoff, there's no, that team's just they're not going to figure it out. They're already out of it. We don't have that situation yet. It's hard to really project any of the trade options. We're just so far away from it. Things can turn on a dime. The Yankee, any team right now could just go on a tear or completely fall apart.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yeah. Wow, look at that. He's been outed.
Justin is not LI. I was just having a little bit of fun.
He already admitted it.
Yeah, Tattletale's up here too, man. I love it. So. Yeah. But guy, I mean, you're right too. Like we can talk for hours. So many things make you think of this. And the chances of them doing the whole shitload of them at the same time are low, right? So it's gonna be. And again, like I really wish they did moves leading up to the deadline, even if they're small moves. Just make some type of roster activity here.
You got to do something.
Yeah.
Yeah, DFA Abreu if you're gonna do that. If you're gonna, when Ian Hamilton comes back, DFA Abreu, get a fresh look to the bullpen. Like, I mean, shit. I mean, little things, little things like that. I mean, like, well, lastly, to close this up, I thank you guys for coming on. If you can make one. Well, so you don't know, Mike Mazza, he's been voted the sexiest man alive, so he's got a lot of women chasing him.
Yeah.
People's Magazine Sexiest Man Alive in 2024, so it's going to come out soon.
Magic Mike Mazza.
Yeah.
I like it.
I like that one.
Yeah, they put Channing Tatum's head on Mike's body, so it's
Hey,
There you go.
resemblance. He's got a little resemblance there.
Yeah, he does, dude.
That's the first.
Mike Tatum.
Keep your shirt on, though. Keep your shirt on.
Yeah, no, no one needs to see that.
No. So if you guys can make one trade, what would it be before at the deadline for the Yankees?
It'd be easier for me to just keep banking on Soto, but it's right now. I think that would just be too unrealistic.
Yeah.
Although it is possible, I think the more realistic and possible trade would be one of Cease or Giolito. I think that's really what they need to go after as a starter.
What do you think it would cost to get Cease? Because it'll cost more than Giolito.
I have to put some numbers together. I don't know exactly. I would give up. I would probably give up a few of the, maybe like Pereira. I would put in there. Some of the minor leaguers that just we don't have a need for them, or there's no avenue for them in year now and next year.
Yeah.
So I think the guys that are still 3 years away or more need to be an option in a trade.
Most definitely. Yes. I think I'm with you too. I think Soto would be the biggest splash, but probably a multiple trade with the White Sox would be the most impactful. You could adjust multiple holes.
Yeah.
What's your take, Steve?
Go ahead, Seal.
No, I think with the White Sox, that would seem to be maybe like a Joe Kelly and a Cease, or a Joe Kelly and a Giolito.
Logical.
Or even the Rockies. There's who's that guy? There's a left fielder on the Rockies. I can't.
Blackman
And Randall
It
Grichuk.
could be. Grichuk or Blackman would be a decent get. Something like low key. Yeah, low key trade, but I mean we can give up some of our prospects because you know what, they're not all going to pan out, and we hug them and keep. Yeah, and they're blocked too. Yeah, but my dream scenario besides Soto would be I know this would never happen, and I think this is someone the Yankees need to inject some energy, is Ellie De La Cruz. They need somebody like that immediately on this team to just, show these guys how to play ball.
What an exciting player! My God.
I mean, he's
Could you
somebody
imagine
like
the Yankees
that.
stealing him?
Oh my God, that would be a dream, and he would completely change this roster, just himself, just the way he plays ball.
Sure.
But I mean, we have this hope that Bader and Judge and all these guys are going to come back, but we got to do something now. And right now, the guys we have in the minor leagues are it. Peraza and Florial would instantly change this team around. Give them a shot, see what they got, and we gotta let go of the Calhouns and the Donaldsons that we have to. And maybe these other guys will start, clicking. Rizzo will catch fire, Stanton. But right now, it's just a stagnant team that's just dead in the water.
Amen. Hey, Sexy, it's your turn.
My two dream deals will be for Julio Rodriguez or Juan Soto, but those will never happen. We all know that.
Yeah.
The most realistic, though, and I just thought of this. I don't know why I just thought of this now, but the Dodgers could be a nice trade fit because they lost Gavin Lux for the year. Remember, they are also in need. They are also in need of a second baseman. So I could see either the Dodgers, us getting Brewster Gratterall from the Dodgers, and a trade with Torres packaged in that deal, or I could see a Lucas Giolito and one of their relievers.
I don't want to be a good fit.
What-
And Torres
Don't
makes
the Dodgers still have Thompson? Whatever happened to him?
Trace Thompson.
Who?
Yeah.
Yeah, don't they still have him?
I think
They
he
don't
might
play
be
him
hurt.
as much, right?
Yeah, I mean, he's
'Cause
not.
I thought he was a good fit for us.
Yeah, he could be too. And they
That's
also
a good name.
they put Muncy on IL yesterday. So
Oh.
hamstring.
Mm-hmm.
So it's
Okay.
another need for Torres. It increases their need for Torres.
Yeah.
So these types of situations, and if the Yankees were smart, I would be looking at that right now, not later. But I think those are good points. Those are good trades too. Those are good trades too. I mean,
Yeah.
I would be the same. I would be able to trade with the White Sox or the that's it and Juan Soto. Like,
Yep.
Soto would set him up for years, and you'd get tons of prime years, even if you give him a 10-year deal. And I would get
Controllable years is the key.
what's that?
Controllable years is the key.
Yeah, Gratterall's got 4 of them, 4 controllable years.
But
Soto has
Jason,
2.5.
Now, because I know a lot of people are like, with Soto, but you have Dominguez in the pipeline. Why would you give up Dominguez? Also, keep in mind that Juan Soto is already the finished product of what we're hoping Dominguez could be.
right. That's true.
He's handled the pressure of New York. He's already handled the pressure of being in a World Series and winning. So he's at 24 years old. He's already had the taste of all of that. He wants it. He wants it again.
I don't know if you guys.
Jason, I got to ask you something. So you
Yeah.
say you want to get Soto, right? So that's going to
Mhm.
deplete our whole farm system. Do you think
Fine.
him alone will change the direction of this team? I think it's gonna hurt them because they'll have nobody else to really kind of
I
fill
think this
in.
is that spark they need.
I think that would be the most flashy move. I think the most impactful would be
Yeah.
to trade with the White Sox with multiple players.
Now, here's the thing, though. I don't know if you saw, to touch on the Soto thing for a second, if you saw the stream that Tats and I did, but if you looked at that stream, I played a couple of videos of him in New York hitting. He hit a shot out of Citi Field, which is impressive in itself. It went 464 feet. And then if you look at the shot that he hit at Yankee Stadium this year, imagine what Soto could do in 81 games at Yankee Stadium.
And to your point too, they're so deep in certain positions. You could use some of those players in positions, and you still wouldn't be gutting the farm for the Yankees.
Yep.
Okay. And this is where I'd be using Sabian and Minai to restock the farm with good drafts. Because if you trade for a player like that, you need to replenish the farm, right? These are the
Here's
right
another
guys to
name.
replenish the farm. The draft is like a couple of weeks away, so it's something.
Here's another name, Jason.
Good.
Alexis Diaz.
Closer for the Reds.
The closer of the Reds. Also, happens to be the brother of injured Mets closer Edwin Diaz.
Right.
Yeah. He's another one. You got lots of years of control, dominant reliever. You're going to pay a haul for him, but I do think it's possible to get a guy like that. I also think it's possible to get a guy like Soto without having to gut him in fun. It depends on what the players need. And if you look at their needs, you can give them outfield prospects, you can give them infield prospects, you can give them pitching prospects. You still won't get the farm. But again, I think it's contingent upon also Minaya and Sabian doing a good job at the drafting.
Yes.
College players are closer to the major leagues than high school players. Then it would be less of a blow trading for a guy like Soto and restocking the farm.
And also our prospects hardly ever pan out. I mean, if
Well,
you
that's
look at the track record, and these other teams seem to develop the players that we need, like a Soto, and maybe that's the direction we go.
That's why when I'm asked the question, would I deplete? Our farm is not going to have the value like it does right now.
No.
So we are not going. We all know how the Yankees operate. They're not going to make room for all of them.
No.
So you might as well capitalize on that now, because
Take advantage of it.
everything's going to be like, wow, look at the hole we're getting back. So I think it falls into that window. Once with Soto, when he got called up,
Yeah, Peraza for sure.
he was Peraza. I think Peraza is my only untouchable.
Yeah.
Me too.
That's in the minor
He's
league.
the number one guy to bring up right now. Florio, I mean, he's hot, but the Yankees don't have a lot of faith in him. Obviously, Peraza is he's the common sense move, but
He's the
when
guy.
they do it, yeah.
He's the guy. Scouts said they felt he was more major league ready than Volpe. I mean, I agree. So We'll see. See what happens. Right?
They'd rather have Donaldson hit 130, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, well, yeah. They got to make a decision on Volpe sooner. On Donaldson sooner than later. You know what I'm saying? You can bring up like a plaza. He'll play better. Contract no matter what. It might give you better production. So, once he's gone after this.
And your point, they have to pay him anyway, regardless, right? So why not have a better player?
Exactly.
And here's the thing: who's going to be worth the money, Ohtani or Soto? Who's going to? Yes, I get it. Ohtani's a two-way player, fantastic, but he's not going to be able to stay that way for his whole career.
No.
Nope.
So who is going to be more value to you, Soto or Ohtani?
Soto.
Yep.
Soto's what, 24, 25? How old?
Soto is 24 years old.
Yeah.
Well,
And he's a
let
lot
Cohen
younger, right?
overpay for him.
Ohtani's 29. He'll be 30 in June.
Yeah.
Soto won't be 25 until
Again,
October.
Soto in the his prime years.
Yeah. And through his arbitration years.
Yep. I would go for Soto, but I understand why people want Ohtani too. His appeal is crazy. It's great for the market and everything, but I want to win more games. Proven winner.
But
We don't need to. We already have one guy locked into DH with Stanton.
Yeah, right.
You know, we can't afford to have a second one where you're going to need to get guys off days because they're old and they can't stay healthy anymore.
And again,
you're going to need to give Rizzo days off and Donaldson and Judge and everybody else.
Ohtani's not only going to be on the other side of 30, but he's also going to require you to play Stanton. So it's two complicated moves to get Ohtani.
Yeah.
One easier move to get Soto.
Yes.
So
that's why I posed the question: do you want Soto as a more do you think Soto would be more valuable, or do you think Ohtani's going to be more valuable? That's why I posed it, because in the long run, if you're thinking what's best for the team now, and in the long run, you got to go Soto. There's no questions about that.
Amen. Amen. And I want to thank you all for coming on, man. This was awesome. Loved your insight.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jig, and
Thank you.
Appreciate you guys. Let's do this again. I think it's important to give our perspective on what's going on in Yankee land. And folks, if you haven't subscribed to Pinstripe Chronicles, please do. Morning Brew Sports, please do. Okay? More real stuff, good stuff on it. Thank you all. Mazza, you're too sexy for us.
Magic Mike Mazza.
Magic Mike Mazza. Cats.
Yeah.
I appreciate it. Enjoy fishing. Steals. Appreciate you too. Happy Father's Day to all the dads. All you guys.
Thank you. Happy Father's Day to you guys.
Yes. Peace and love, everybody, and we'll catch y'all next time.
All right.
Bye, guys.
Peace out.
Bye.